Hey guys, so I have a Joyo classic flanger here. This is one of the cheapest flangers you can buy. It's horribly ugly, but it does the job. And I thought it was really interesting because I thought it was an MXR flanger clone. You don't see MXR flanger clones all that often. Usually what you end up seeing is an Electric Mistress clone. I have one of those too. It sounds really good. I'll do a video about that later. But as an aside, I really like flangers. As you can see here, I have a ton of them, and it was one of my favorite modulation effects until I really started listening to some classic choruses. So, yeah, I said that this was possibly an MXR flanger clone, and it is not. It is actually an Ibanez FL9 clone. It was $35, and the funny thing about that is the Boss PSA 120 adapter that I'm using costs about the same amount of money as the pedal. You can use one of the Dunlap/MXR 9-volt adapters as well. It's a little touchy on terms of using a noisy adapter. You have to use a fairly quiet adapter. The cheapest adapter that I've been able to find that's quiet enough for this pedal is that Dunlop one. So yeah, let's listen to the differences because this is not a clone of the MXR. Like I said, it's an Ibanez FL9 clone, which is kind of interesting on its own. But yeah, it sounds good. So I have a sequence here in the Korg Minilog XD. It has some noise, and noise sounds absolutely fantastic through a phaser or a flanger. And we'll get started. It does have the triangle waveform on the LFO, just like the MXR flanger does. It can get pretty high on the regen or the feedback. Differences in markings is the delay time is the manual over on the MXR, but everything else is pretty much the same. Let's make them both sound like choruses. One of the cool things flangers can do, if it's a good flanger, is make a very good chorus. So yeah, they kind of both do the business there. They do sound very different. I think the Joyo is a bit brighter, but that goes with the Ibanez FL9 as well over the MXR 117. It's just a brighter flanger. I think the regen is a little softer, or it's not as pronounced on this if you turn it all the way up. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, if you want a cheap flanger, the Joyo Classic flanger is something to get into. You do need a power supply. I mean, it'll run off batteries. I would recommend a power supply. So that's just something to be aware of. But for $35, it's an extremely cheap flanger that actually sounds good. I was shocked about it. I was hoping that it would be really crappy so I could make a funny video, but I was disappointed, but for the wrong reason, I guess. So, yeah, not bad. The build quality is okay. The knobs look really good. Paint job is okay. I mean, it's actually a nice paint job. It's just the graphics are like just horribly, just ugly on it. Just the text and everything. There's even another one, a Harley Benton one, which is sold by Thomann in Germany. And that one is even worse looking. It has like karate guys on it. It's just like, what were they thinking? They could have just made this. They could have made this yellow or something like the Ibanez one. I guess that probably infringed on a trademark, but the Ibanez isn't even made anymore. But yeah, so I was surprised that it's an FL9 clone instead of being the 117 clone that I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I have a video coming up pretty soon on a pedal that I just ordered. I'm not going to say what it is. It's a surprise. It'll be fun. And I do still plan on making a review of the Model 12 that you see over here. I had to get a replacement Model 12. The power supply on my original Model 12 blew up, so I'm giving this a little more time just to make sure that it was a one-off fluke and not something wrong with the lineup. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody out.